another busy broadcast week, just 1 week from Christmas Day, all week long here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. We will have Christmas fun culminating with the Dan O'Donnell Show Family Christmas Special premiering at 9 a.m. on Friday. Christmas games, we'll talk some Christmas carols, traditions, all sorts of stuff, sprinkled in with some more serious topics this week. If you would like to join us, as always, the AdventNews.com talk and text line is open at 414-799-1130. 1-800-838-9476 is our toll-free talk and text line. Email me, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on Twitter/X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, YouTube.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. We are streaming live via the Dan O'Cam at YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and very soon LinkedIn, of all places. LinkedIn, you can stream live, I guess. Instagram just announced that you can stream live, so watch for that coming in the new year. Heck, we will stream any place that doesn't constantly censor us. And since I think we're through the worst of the censorship era of 2020, 2021, the only forbidden knowledge that you can't talk about is President Joe Biden and his son, rather obviously, being in a corrupt influence peddling scheme. But way back when we first started the Dan O'Cam, I was getting suspended constantly for saying things like, hey, it doesn't appear that the vaccines are really stopping the spread of COVID. Hey, it appears as though masks don't really work. Hey, it appears that the 2020 election was not held in accordance with Wisconsin law, all of which, of course, was totally true, but all of which was information that the public just wasn't allowed to receive. And we have actually got an incredible example of that happened over the weekend. Wait, Dave, do you hear that? What is that? What is that noise? It appears to be coming from a Senate hearing room. What? Oh my God, that's one of Senator Ben Cardin's aides! If you missed the story, I'm not especially surprised because the media did its level best to ensure that you don't hear anything, and I mean anything, about one of the most jaw-dropping scandals in the history of the Senate. And when I say jaw-dropping, I mean, wait, what just happened? Jaw-dropping. Stomach-turning? Stomach-turning is probably it. I will warn you, some students are off school all week for Christmas break. Maybe you've got a kid in the car at the dentist's office. Maybe you're listening to this show via podcast after it airs originally in the morning. If you've got young listeners, please, I am begging you, this is me. You can see on the Dan O'Cam, I am holding my hands together in prayer. I am on my knees, not like a Ben Cardin aide, but I am on my knees begging you, turn off the radio for like the next 10 minutes. All right? 3, 2, 1. Kids gone? It's just us grown-ups? An aide to Democrat Senator Ben Cardin filmed himself. How shall I put this? Even with all the kids gone, this is still a family-friendly show. Let's just say he discovered a new way to get screwed by government. Can we say that? Can we say that? His name is Aiden Mays-Sarofsky, and I apologize if I mispronounce that. I was very tempted to just call him the Twink, but family-friendly show. Aiden Mays-Sarofsky posted a video of himself having sex with another man in a Senate hearing room. And not just any Senate hearing room. This is actually one of the more famous that exists in the Senate building. Hosted the 9/11 Commission hearings. James Comey, former FBI director, gave his testimony about Donald Trump in 2017. Remember Tom Daschle receiving an anthrax-laced letter just after the 9/11 attacks? Remember Sonia Sotomayor became the first Latina, the wise Latina, to attend nomination hearings for the nation's highest court. Maze Sharofsky, in spite of the fact that he posted the video and it is about as graphic as it gets. Can you tell where it is? Yes, you can tell where it is. What do you mean, where it is? Like, where on Aiden's body? I'll give you a guess where this happened, Dave. It is, yes, it's the Hart Senate building, and it's in a hearing room. It's in one of the bigger hearing rooms. The room is thankfully empty, except for Aiden and his paramour. I sit down to do this show, ladies and gentlemen. I knew I was going to talk about this topic first because, come on, I'm me. This story is this story. You know damn well I'm going to talk about it. First text I see, very first text. You know what? I can't do this without the music. Music faded out. Let's get back to it. Yeah. Apparently Jay Weber was talking about this story before me. First text I get is, where can I find the details Jay is talking about? The gay sex in the Capitol video. None of the stories I find have any details. I am now morbidly curious as to why this listener desperately needs the video and some more details. He wants as many details as he can possibly get. He wants to look at that video over and over and over. This is going to be this guy's personal Zapruder film. I'm actually kidding, of course. Now, Aiden is a young gay man. So what do you suppose he's claiming? He's since been fired, and Senator Cardin's office issued a terse 2-line statement to Politico. The employee in question is no longer working for Senator Cardin. End of statement. So, of course, the media refused to ask any further questions. They refused to, shall we say, probe deeper into this story. They refused to probe into Aiden Maze Sharofsky. So they just won't do it. They won't do it. Now, Maze Sharofsky, I am sure is feeling very bad about his firing. It's left a hole in him that will never, ever be filled again. It's never going to be filled again. I promise at some point I am going to grow up and stop. But ladies and gentlemen, that day is not today. I am filled with Christmas spirit. Just like Aiden was filled with some spirit that day in question. What do you think he claimed? How dare you judge who I love? While some of my actions in the past have shown poor judgment, I love my job and would never disrespect my workplace. Any attempts to characterize my actions otherwise are fabricated, and I will be exploring what legal options are available to me in these matters. You better watch out. If you defame Aiden, he will come down hard on you. As hard as possible. Yes, he's seriously claiming that this is anti-gay bigotry and that he didn't disrespect his workplace by having sex with a dude in it. Now, I didn't work in radio during the wild sex, drugs, and rock and roll era. I'm assuming there was a whole lot of sinning going on in radio studios throughout the 1960s and 1970s, right? I can imagine, the 80s, the wild, cocaine, that you would grab from the White House locker. Still haven't figured out who that. By the way, I've got a pretty strong contender for who left the cocaine in the White House. Could have been the cocaine addicted son of the president, of course. What if it was Aiden Mays Sharofsky? Looking to have a little extra. It's like a performance enhancer for him, you see. Now, there is, as insane as this story is, like truly insane, did you ever think, I mean, this would be, you just can't imagine a Democrat doing this, disrespecting the country, its highest institutions like this. After all, remember, Democrats specifically said that decency was on the ballot. When Joe Biden ran against Donald Trump, Trump, of course, was a horrible human being. He was a womanizer. He's a would-be tyrant. And Joe Biden was going to usher in a new era of decency. Just look at all the disgusting figures in the Trump administration. Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, the Trump children, just horrible people. And Biden was going to usher in decency. He was going to bring it back. We get coke in a White House locker, even though there's more cameras in the White House than perhaps even in this Ben Cardin aide's bedroom. And we can't figure out who left the cocaine in the locker. The FBI could use advanced technology to identify every single little old lady who is in the same zip code as the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. But we can't figure out who left a baggie of coke in a locker. I'll tell you, if Aiden didn't film himself, it's entirely possible this mystery would never be solved either. The Scooby-Doo gang, Democrats are not when it comes to investigating other Democrats. And yes, what Aiden did is very possibly criminal in nature. But will he face any consequences? He lost his job, sure. But he claims victimhood. And guess what? It's entirely possible the vast majority of you didn't hear about this story at all. It broke on Friday night. He was fired Saturday morning. And the story is all but gone by Monday morning. This is exactly how Democrats operate. They tried to bury 25 years ago, very similar story. Now, thank God Bill Clinton didn't have a Twitter account back in 1998, or we would have seen way more of that blue dress than any human being should have had to. But the media was trying its best to cover that up. The President of the United States having an affair with a 24-year-old White House intern, lying to the American people. It was a young little online news publication called The Drudge Report that reported that the mainstream media, I believe it was Newsweek, was sitting on this story, that it had what turned out to be the bombshell story, arguably of the decade, and one of the biggest presidential scandals in history. That the President of the United States was not just engaged in an extramarital affair, not just lying about it, didn't just perjure himself in court, but also did so in the Oval Office. This shocked people at the time. How could somebody, especially somebody like a president, do something like this? And many people, especially conservatives, argued at the time that Bill Clinton's actions in such an insanely public way, actions committed by the most famous, most well-known person on the planet. Usually it's either the Pope, it was the Queen when she was still alive, or it's the President of the United States, made this sort of poor behavior, sexual irresponsibility, far more mainstream. Moreover, it loosened the standards of what we expect from government, of what we expect from government officials. Now, the Ben Cardin aide is just, some little gay guy who actually also made news, if you can believe this. That might not have even been the most offensive thing that Aiden Mays Sharofsky did that week. He actually went up, he got in the face of a Democratic Jewish representative and shouted "Free Palestine" at him. Nobody else, just the Jewish guy. This is just a toxic dude. No, he's not the president. No, he's not a senator. He's not even anyone of importance. But if this was a Republican, if this was an aide to, say, Senator Ted Cruz, is there any chance this wouldn't be a massive story? Excuse me, I just sneezed a little bit there. It was probably a result of me suppressing my gag reflex for the past 15 minutes while talking about this story. This story is completely gone. I guarantee by Christmas, if you say the name Aiden Mays Sharofsky, even to people who follow the news, it will not be a name that's familiar to anyone. And this is by design. Because ultimately, this story is nauseating, sure. It's disrespectful to the institution of the Senate. But let's face it, it's hilarious. It's a dude filming himself and posting on social media doing unholy things. It's funny. It's embarrassing. It is funny. It is a story that allows you to laugh at how ridiculous Democrats and the people they employ really are. So that's why you're not allowed to see it, because you're not allowed to laugh at Democrats. When Bill Clinton said, "I did not have sex with that woman," it was a national punchline. Comedians made fun of Bill Clinton for years. SNL parodied it mercilessly. Can you even name, in as much as anyone still watches SNL, can you even name the guy they have playing Joe Biden? I can't. Do you remember years ago, they fired Jay Pharoah. Jay Pharoah, very, very funny guy. He does about 1 million impressions. His Denzel Washington is stunningly good. He was their Obama impressionist. Obama was president. They fired the guy who played and did a spot-on Obama. He did a pitch-perfect Obama voice. They fired him because they didn't have any use for him. Gerald Ford tripped once or twice publicly. This guy was a Division I football player. He's a superstar athlete. He wasn't a clumsy oaf. But Chevy Chase, SNL, parodied him as such. Do you know Sarah Palin never once said, "I can see Russia from my house"? That was Tina Fey playing Sarah Palin in 2008. Who's SNL's Kamala Harris? The human gaffe machine. I see what I see, unburdened by what has been. She talks about Venn diagrams going on the school bus. She has the most insane cackle since Hillary. She's never made fun of. She's never mocked, because certain things, certain people can't be. Humor is an incredibly powerful tool. Democrats know this and have known this. That's why they have turned their late-night comedy shows into what conservatives derisively call late-night group therapy for libs. It's why a story like this, which normally, if I was an SNL writer, if I was Lorne Michaels in the 1970s, I scrap whatever I had for a cold open for the next day's Saturday Night Live. I call every single writer in and said, "We are sitting down and we are parodying this. This is our opening sketch. We've got little Aiden looking up from whatever unholy things he's doing to say live from New York, it's Saturday night." Is there any chance that would have happened? Of course not. Why? Because when you mock someone, when you mock something, when you mock liberalism, it loses its power. It loses the perception of infallibility. In that sense, humor is actually the most effective tool to combat the forces of hell, evil, ridiculousness. Producer Dave makes a great point. This is why we developed a game show, Guess What's Racist, to poke fun at the idea that the media and Democrats just sort of randomly declare whatever they want to be racist. By the way, we are going to unveil a brand new Christmas game coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. We call it Second Verses. You might know Christmas carols, but do you know the second verse of them? We're going to test your knowledge, and we are going to play for incredibly cool prizes. To that end, big announcement coming up about a show you are not going to want to miss. Stay tuned. That's next on The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Merry Christmas from all of us here at The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Dan O'Donnell here for my friends at Mander Collision and Glass. I talk all the time about how Mander is your best decision after a collision or for windshield repair. But here's customer Sarah, who writes, I went to Mander Glass in Muskego after getting a large crack in my windshield. They were able to get me in for an appointment quickly, and they were able to replace my windshield in just a few hours. The end result looks great. Very happy with the service and friendliness of the staff. Would recommend. Thanks so much for sharing that, Sarah. And in fact, I just had almost the exact same experience with Mander Glass myself. I got a small crack which turned into a large crack, and the team at Mander took care of me with the professional and courteous service that you can only get from a family-owned business like Mander. Sarah and I know what you should too. Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus.
If a tree falls in the forest, but nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
If you go to Hassellus Mattress, but there are no employees, do you still get a free box spring with the purchase of a new Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper now through Monday, or take an equal amount off an adjustable base?
Huh?
The answer is yes.
But does it make a sound?
A box spring? Of course not.
I give up.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ, C-H-O-Q. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, C-H-O-Q, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
Choose from countless luxury flooring options at Flawless Flooring's New Berlin or Delafield Idea Gallery. Flawless Flooring's employee-only installers beautify your everyday going forward right after eliminating carpet stains and stink. Sensory underload, Flawless Flooring, FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Your next event starts at the River Club of Mequon. A contemporary 500-person grand ballroom with outdoor space overlooks the golf course. This unforgettable venue is perfect for your wedding day or company event. For a tour, visit riverclubofmequon.com.
The great Jordan Peterson, best-selling author, psychologist, professor emeritus at the University of Toronto, Daily Wire personality, and all-around great guy, intellectual heavyweight, and just an incredibly engaging personality, is coming to Milwaukee at the Riverside Theater March 10th at 7:30 p.m. This is a Sunday night, and we have tickets to give away all week long as a special gift to you right before Christmas. We have got 5 pairs of Jordan Peterson tickets, and we're going to give away one of them as part of our Christmas game Second Verses. I will explain the rules when we play about an hour from right now. Also in the 10 o'clock hour, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson will join us to talk about his attempts to force border security in exchange for yet another blank check to fund the Ukraine war effort. We have also got another giveaway in the form of the Quick Trip holiday face-off. You got family in town. You're looking for something to do after Christmas, December 28th and the 29th. Now, these are for the 28th, Thursday's games that are going to pit the Badgers taking on Air Force and Minnesota Duluth versus Northeastern. The action starts at 4:30 on Thursday, December 28th. We have got a 4-pack of tickets to give away right now. Merry Christmas to caller number 25. December 25th, a week ago, my goodness. I'm already looking at Christmas. I'm already the ghost of Christmas past here, even though I've got so much to get done to get ready for Christmas future. 1 week from today, we'll take caller number 25 right now. Christmas is in a week. Your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see some college hockey comes up right now. 414-799-1130 and 1-800-838-9476.
Everything can change in 30 seconds with a fumble, a spin out, a red card, a new idea. But these 30 seconds, they can change everything for you and your business. I'm Jim Colehart, and with Saturn Lounge as your marketing partner, your business will enter the fast lane. We thrive on strategy and creativity with unique ideas to deliver what your business needs. And now my own 30 seconds are almost up. Visit SaturnLounge.com to see how we can tell the world your story.
Come to Fiserv Forum to see the resurgent Wisconsin Badgers on December 28th and 29th in the Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. See how Coach Hastings has rebuilt the Badgers into a national power. Get your tickets now to see the Badgers battle the Air Force Falcons in prime time on day one. The excitement continues with perennial power and 3-time national champion Minnesota Duluth playing the Northeastern Huskies in the other semifinal. Don't miss the college hockey action coming to Milwaukee and see who wins the championship on day 2. So get your seats today at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for my friends at the Lynch family of dealerships. As we close out another year and the holiday season is in full swing, the Lynch family of dealerships would like me to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a prosperous New Year. Thank you to each and every one of the customers who have supported and patronized the Lynch family of dealerships. Lynch Ford of Mugwanago, Lynch Chevrolet of Mugwanago, Lynch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Mugwanago, Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha, the Lynch GM Superstore of Burlington, and Lynch Buick GMC of West Bend. Whether you're looking for a new or used vehicle or servicing your current vehicle, the Lynch family has you covered. With Lynch Protected Used Vehicles, you'll receive peace of mind and a 3-month, 3,000-mile certified warranty. Your paint, windshield, and tires are covered. One of the many reasons I choose Lynch. Find them online at shoplynch.com.
Hot summer night, lightning strike. Down goes the tree, right through their bedroom wall, nearly ruining a walnut headboard, which is pretty hard wood. Fortunately, the customers were okay. But the headboard? That wasn't. Until they called us. We made that Victorian headboard better than new. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing, repair, and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY Finishing.com.
Hey guys, welcome to the Home Box Stop. Ready for those new kitchen cabinets and countertops? Okay, well let's get you guys going. Inches, centimeters, inches, right?
Right.
Is this your first time? Oh no, been here for years. Actually, in light bulbs. I'm covering for Karen. She took the week off. 1 sec. No worries. The computer does all the work.
Customer assistance to light bulbs.
Oh, that's me, BRB.
Yeah, let's go.
Granite Plus?
Hurry, here she comes.
Hi, I'm Laz with Granite Plus. Countertops and cabinets is what we do. As a meticulously detailed local fabricator, say goodbye to the middleman and upgrade your home with real factory direct savings. Homeowners, flippers, contractors, why would you pay more? Go to graniteplususa.com, that's graniteplususa.com, or visit any of our Milwaukee area showrooms and start saving today.
And Doug.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Jay Weber here. If you're someone who is experiencing shoulder, hip, or knee pain and a total joint replacement may be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Jesus tells us that he will remain with us for all time. This is Archbishop Listecki. It's Advent, and as Catholics, we're spreading the word about the real presence of Jesus Christ. The wonderful way Jesus stays with us is that he gives himself to us in the Eucharist. He is truly present. During Mass, the bread and wine become the body and blood of Christ, and we receive Jesus in communion. So join us at Mass and experience the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist.
All year long, Klaus Roofing Systems by Buck Buckley offers free replacement roof repair and gutters. 100% satisfaction is the Klaus Roofing way. For a free estimate, visit KlausRoofingByBuck.com and put a Klaus on your house.
Want to make your yard the envy of the neighborhood? Tune in to Brett Octenhagen's Seasonal Services Designer Yard Show to learn landscaping secrets. Visit seasonalservices.com and listen on News Talk 1130 WISN, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Congratulations to Chris from Milwaukee, the winner of our Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off college hockey tickets. We'll have another 4-pack to give away. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty generous, producer Dave. What do you think? Should we give some more away today? We are also going to play a game I call Second Verses. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we'll have some Christmas fun for a lucky caller to go see Jordan Peterson. New show just announced March 10th, 2024 at the Riverside Theater. Should be a whole lot of fun. Democrats are remarkably good at being hysterical. Like Randy Weingarten, the head of the teachers union. She is so concerned about school vouchers and allowing low-income parents to have a choice. The only thing that Democrats don't want people to have a choice in is, well, pretty much everything except abortion. She wants kids to be trapped in failing public schools like a lot of those found in MPS. She actually believes if parents have a choice to flee those schools, it will be the end of democracy.
They have not one thing that they offer as a solution other than privatizing or voucherizing schools, which is about undermining democracy and undermining civil discourse and undermining pluralism.
Aha. Have you noticed that everything Democrats don't like now is either committing a form of genocide or ending democracy? I would like to think that most people are too stupid to fall for this hysteria, but it clearly works, as evidenced by the fact that Democrats keep using that language. They keep using the most apocalyptic terms to warn their voters about the dangers of something they don't like. Now, what will bring about the end of democracy even quicker than voucher schools or the internal combustion engine? Or cows producing too much methane with their farts? Why, Donald Trump winning an election, of course. Yes, a guy who wins an election will herald the end of democracy. It's what they keep telling their voters.
Look, if Trump wins, it would be the end of democracy in the United States.
Donald Trump is dangerous for our democracy. Because if he does win, it's basically the end of American democracy.
I think everybody should vote for Joe Biden if they want our democracy to survive.
It would be the end of our democracy if Donald Trump was able to get back into office.
He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
That was Dan Goldman there, calling for an assassination. Maybe. Also, Hillary Clinton, Mehdi Hassan, as well as J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, in that little montage we here at the Dan O'Donnell Show put together. Why do they keep saying this? Because they understand that if this is a referendum on Joe Biden, they lose. Donald Trump wins. Trump wins, and every single poll shows it. In fact, President Biden was even asked about that in what may just be one of the most apt metaphors for his presidency. This is the story that sort of supplanted little Aiden May's Sharopsky and him getting sharopped in a Senate hearing room over the weekend. President Biden gets asked by a reporter as he's walking out of, I believe it was a restaurant, a fundraiser in Delaware, of course. And a reporter asks him, hey, what do you think about all these bad polls that show you losing to Trump? He says, look at some other polls and then, well, just listen.
Mr. President, why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
A car just slammed into the presidential motorcade. It doesn't appear that anyone was hurt, at least seriously. The president wasn't in any danger. And I got to give Biden credit. He looked pretty alert. He was sort of gawking at it as any normal person would. He didn't seem confused by it. Secret Service got him into his SUV and he went on his merry way. Incident under investigation. It doesn't appear that the motorcade was targeted. It appears, I thought almost immediately, well, that's a drunk driver. You imagine all the bad luck. You're trying to get home from the office Christmas party. You don't just crash into a parked car. You crash into the presidential motorcade. But if this is an argument to the American people that you need to reelect this car wreck, the American people are overwhelmingly telling pollsters right now, we don't want that. That, by the way, is why President Trump was charged with 4 different series of felonies, both federal and state, to ensure that the American people don't elect him. Trump's numbers, he's doing great now because people are focused. Trump is essentially invisible. Mainstream media, while they talk incessantly about Trump, Trump is never on screen. He's never talking to the American people. He's not on Twitter. He's on his own private little Twitter, whose name escapes me now. Truth Social, that's what it's called. He's on his own personal Twitter, essentially just sending out truths to his most ardent supporters. People aren't seeing him, yet he's polling very high. When pollsters ask the question, would you support Trump if he's criminally convicted? That number drops precipitously. If you have a convicted felon running for the White House, it's far more easy to get people to buy into your hysterics about the end of democracy if this guy gets back in the White House. Now, you and I can laugh about this, just as we laughed about the Aiden May's Sharopsky Senate frolicking over the weekend. But a lot of people take this stuff seriously. They don't understand the context. They don't understand that the real threat to democracy is the weaponization of the investigatory and prosecutorial arms of the federal government, both controlled by Biden, against his likeliest political opponent. That's about as tyrannical or tyrannical, as his press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, pronounces it, as it gets. There's a great debate over the weekend between Wisconsin guy, great friend of the show, Reince Priebus, the former Republican National Committee chair, and Donna Brazile, the former Democratic National Committee chair. They're on ABC's This Week with Jonathan Karl. And what Priebus is arguing is that attempts to make this about end of democracy and Trump shredding the Constitution ultimately fall on deaf ears when people are struggling so badly with inflation and high interest rates in Biden's disastrous economy.
Mr. Chairman, let me just say this. You're talking about taking millions of people off their health care, which is Donald Trump. He has pledged to do that. That's blood. That is blood. You're talking about suspending the United States Constitution, something that Donald Trump has said. Yeah, look, I get the anger part. I get the people who are frustrated with crime. I get the fact that the border need more agents, need more
Democrats
technology.
are suing the White House.
More technology. But you know what I don't get? I don't get the fact that you're willing to stand up for someone who's praising dictators.
Listen, I'm not willing to stand up.
Who is hungry to get back with Kim Jong-un.
What I'm doing here, Donna, is I am telling you what the reality on the ground is. Right. And there's 100,000 people in 5 states that are going to decide this election. And if you can convince me that those 100,000 people are worried about Donald Trump suspending the Constitution, look,
even though he has said that on multiple occasions.
But you have to be able to convince people that are voting that he means what he says. Well, then, if that's what your case is, sure. But if you really think that, it's not
that this president. The president, you say that Democrats will not walk on glass, well, they'll go through fire to protect the Constitution.
We'll see.
They will go through fire to defend
they're going through fire to.
I'm sorry, all I could think of when Donna Brazile was saying they would go through fire is the old video where the woman escapes a fire and says, "Oh, Lord Jesus, there's a fire." She says, I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Sweet Brown was her name. Early viral video like 10 or 11 years ago. Absolutely hilarious. What Brazile is saying is, look, our voters, she's acknowledging, our voters don't particularly care for Joe Biden. We have to dupe them into believing that the Constitution will be set on fire if Donald Trump wins, that their country will be gone if Donald Trump wins. Now, this is why I need to be on these Sunday talk shows debating libs like Donna Brazile. You know what I would have said? And Reince Priebus does a great job, and he's absolutely right. He's like 100,000 people in swing states who are struggling are going to vote not based on your hysterical assertions that if they vote for the wrong guy, if they have a choice, democracy will be over. What I would have said to Brazile is, Donna, you yourself care so little about democracy and giving people a choice that you used your position as head of the DNC to rig the primary for Hillary Clinton and against Bernie Sanders in 2016, even though the people in your party clearly preferred Sanders over Clinton. In fact, if it wasn't for your party's essentially rigging the election again in 2020, Bernie Sanders would have run against Donald Trump and in all likelihood would have lost. So please, don't lecture anyone else about any party other than Democrats rigging elections or failing to give people a true democratic choice, because you did it. You got caught doing it, and it cost you your job as head of the DNC because of it. But this is ultimately what the game is. They need to get their voters out somehow. They're not going to crawl through glass to vote for Joe Biden. Most of them can't stand Joe Biden, but they also can't stand Trump. And they need to be terrified of Trump to crawl through that glass and run through that fog.
From the Dan O'Donnell Show family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Treat yourself at the River Club of Mequon. The North Shore's premier private club has state-of-the-art facilities in a casual, elegant setting. The management of the River Club is committed to personal service and will give your wedding, corporate outing, or holiday party a spectacular flair like none other. The view from the sunset deck is a one-of-a-kind space, providing an unforgettable experience. Visit riverclubofmequon.com today because you deserve it. Treat yourself. Visit riverclubofmequon.com.
Extra cash? Coming right up. Happy Money is letting you in on a happier way to elevate your savings with an incredible certificate offered by Alliant Credit Union. Smart, bold, and straightforward. Alliant offers a 12-month certificate with 5.25 APY annual percentage yield with a low minimum deposit of $1,000. Funds are insured up to $250,000. Best of all, anyone can apply to join. Elevate your savings today. Visit happymoney.com/Alliant. That's ALLIANT. The APY is accurate as of the 11/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
Come to Kessler's this Christmas.
You'll get the lowest prices of a lifetime.
And a gift that will last forever.
Put a bigger diamond in her engagement ring.
Or give her a big pair of diamond stud earrings.
The kind that people notice from across the room.
Diamond stud earrings always fit perfectly, and they can be worn with anything.
But diamond earrings always look best when they are worn with a smile.
And with every purchase of at least $298, you'll get a marvelous leather travel case for your jewelry.
Just 4 inches square by 2 inches thick. Wonderfully padded and full of perfect little compartments.
You're going to love it.
Kessler's is the largest employee-owned diamond company in the world.
Our stores have nearly 9,000 Google reviews.
And each store has a 4.9 star average.
Except for the 2 that have 5 stars.
You're going to be happy, happy, happy.
Find the Kessler's nearest you.
And see our extended holiday hours
at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
Ethan appreciates easy, so Ethan does his banking with Landmark Credit Union. Earning money on his savings? Landmark makes it easy. Opening a checking account? Easy peasy, Ethan. Landmark is full of people who are easy to work with. We're homeowners, neighbors, and community builders. In fact, Landmark has called southeastern Wisconsin home for all of our 90 years in business. Our branches are easy to find, and our app is easy to use. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
I'm Dan Small. Join me and Jeff Kelm for Outdoors Radio, Saturday mornings at 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Brought to you by the Range of Richfield, the ultimate shooting experience on Helson Drive in Richfield and online at therangewi.com.
Wisconsin, you deserve better. You deserve stress-free quality roofing. Let Klaus Roofing Systems by Buck Buckley, BBB award-winning service, take care of you and your family. For a free roofing consultation, visit KlausRoofingByBuck.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi!
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
A business person recently said it's like inmates are running the asylum. Regarding disgruntled employees, human capital management systems from the benefit companies will restore sanity to your workforce. Connect and Simplify. InSource. The benefit companies. ConnectandSimplify.com.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
Treat the cause of your pain, not just your symptoms, with state-of-the-art equipment and the latest rehabilitative technology. At Lake Country Health Center, Dr. Murray and Dr. Mai will find a way to get you back to health. Call 262-646-5800 or lakecountryhealthcenter.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
classical conservatism, and a lot of Christmas this week, as it is just a week away. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show, and it's time now to name our unhinged liberal of the day.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany. Does that make me crazy?
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is in over.
Come on, did you really think it was going to be anyone else? Today's unhinged liberal of the day is Aiden Mays-Sharovsky, who filmed himself doing all manner of unspeakable things in a Senate hearing room. And for those morbidly curious, the video is thankfully blurred, but available on Twitter/X. I am not even going to point you to where, because didn't need to see that Yule log. No, okay, I'm gonna stop. It wasn't just that he did that, it's that he tried to claim homophobia for having sex in a Senate hearing room and filming it. Aiden Mays-Sharovsky, your unhinged liberal of the day, and in the most unfortunate transition perhaps in the history of radio, yes, we have to go from that to Dave Spano. Dave, Merry Christmas to you. I'm gonna take a drink of eggnog to wash that taste out of my mouth. How you doing, my friend?
Good, Lord. Let's move on. So let's talk about how we did this year. If you asked your listeners what the NASDAQ return for the year is, I'd be interested. You know, the NASDAQ started this year at 10,000, and we are just short of 15,000, 14.8 as of last tick here. That is a 43% increase in the year. Let's talk about the S&P 500. Started under 4,000, around 3,700. The S&P 500 now over 4,700. That is a 24% increase. And I'll bet your listeners would not have gotten that right unless they are following this on a daily basis. And why did that happen, Dan? Because of the things that we pound all the time. What is the very active Federal Reserve doing? And we spend so much time. In fact, sometimes you go, we're going to talk about the Fed again. But it was important. It was core to this argument. And it was because now the Fed has, as they have told us, they are going to stop raising interest rates. And now the next move after that is the pivot lower. And so they're going to stay here for a moment or two. We had a Fed meeting last week. They said as much that we're probably going to see Fed rate cuts in 2024. You can argue it's political, but you can also argue that it's now going to change the direction of what the Federal Reserve is going to do, and that is going to have an effect on everything from bond prices to stock prices to mortgage rates and even home prices. So really, you've got to go through and say, what am I going to do in 2024? You've got to go through it. You got to understand how it fits. You have to understand the taxation, what's in your portfolio, why it's there, how much you're paying for it. We see this all the time. People come in and they have these products, Dan, that are just loaded with fees and commissions, and sometimes they don't even know it. But a great year. I know we're going to be off next week because it's Christmas, and the following week is New Year's, but I want to say thank you for another great year and great friendship with you.
Absolutely, Dave. The feeling is more than mutual. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm not letting you off the hook just yet. We are recording the final episode of The Difference, our weekly podcast looking at the intersection of politics and economics. We'll take a look back at 2023, look ahead to 2024 and those expected rate cuts, and we'll record right after this radio show is done. But seriously, Dave, I so value you coming on and having to follow up my buffoonishness with Unhinged Liberal of the Day.
I was gagging a little bit.
Imagine trying to report on this for 15 straight minutes at the beginning of this hour.
Good Lord.
I should get hazard pay for that. Merry Christmas, Dave, to you and your wonderful family and everyone at Annex. Dan O'Donnell Show coming back with Senator Ron Johnson.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN. Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. Ozaukee County deputies are investigating a drive-by shooting that happened Saturday night on I-43. Deputies say the victim's car was driving south on the interstate near Mequon when another car pulled alongside and someone inside started shooting. The victim's car was shot several times. No one was hurt. The incident tied up traffic on I-43 for several hours. No arrests have been made. Wisconsin U.S. Senator Ron Johnson is calling for a special conference to discuss border security. Johnson has joined 15 other GOP senators who want to wait until the second week of 2024 to join White House and Senate Democrats to discuss making the southern border more secure. At a Friday event in Oshkosh, Johnson said the openness of the border has led to the increase of fentanyl in Wisconsin.
This is a flood of people that are from a different culture, that don't speak our language, that, far too many of them are dealing in drugs. I mean, this is going to be a problem that we're going to have to deal with for years and years.
A sedan collided with a Secret Service vehicle that was a part of President Biden's motorcade in Delaware last night. Following the crash, Secret Service agents whisked Biden into a vehicle while the sedan was quickly surrounded by agents with guns drawn and aimed at its driver, who had his hands up. The President and First Lady Jill Biden were unharmed. Checking the WISN Sports scoreboard after defeating the Houston Rockets last night, the Bucks take today off before facing the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow night at the Fiserv Forum. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services and host of the Designer Yard Show. Another landscaping season is in the books, and what a great season it was. I started seasonal services 30 years ago, and I enjoy every day. Yes, some days are tough, but we've persevered because of many special people. The Christmas season is a great time to share our appreciation of others. So let me start by thanking our suppliers, clients, and the many builders who trust us with their valued clients. And to those of you who love gardening and nature as much as we do, thanks for listening to the Designer Yard Show every Saturday. Finally, thanks to the entire Seasonal Services team. You arrive early and you go home late. You give your all every day on the hottest days of summer and the coldest days of winter. You appreciate that hard work is rewarding, and for that I give you my admiration and thanks. So on behalf of all of us at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, best wishes for 2024.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Snow showers moving in Monday morning, reduced visibility, and some minor accumulations are possible, but strong winds with this front will be gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour, putting wind chills in the single digits and teens all day long. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Lisa Michaels.
This report is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal, founder of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. We've been helping our clients plan for retirement for over 36 years. We'd like to help you too. Visit thekowalway.com to schedule your no-obligation retirement review or call 262-522-4040.
Hello, commercial customers. This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center, and it's end of the year tax planning season. We've continued to work hard sourcing over 400 of the best GM, Hino, and Isuzu commercial trucks from all over the country. Most are ready to go, and some are ready for your custom upfit. The best part? All of our trucks qualify for the Section 179 tax deduction for 2023. Now, I know you're busy running your business, but we've made it easy. Go to lynchtruckcenter.com, select your truck, and click on the green button on each truck page to instantly see potential tax savings. For example, if you buy a $50,000 truck at a 22% tax rate, you'll get $11,000 in potential tax savings. You can deduct 100% of the purchase price from your 2023 taxes. Essentially, the truck will only cost you $39,000. Remember, we are in the truck business, not accountants. So, be sure to verify these tax savings with your tax professional. Visit lynchtruckcenter.com today. We won't disappoint you.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose, or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well, and there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere, but the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Very fair price. No real estate agent fees or closing costs.
Within weeks, we had closed and couldn't be happier.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Your next event starts at the River Club of Mequon. A contemporary 500-person grand ballroom with outdoor space overlooks the golf course. This unforgettable venue is perfect for your wedding day or company event. For a tour, visit riverclubofmequon.com.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. The holiday season should remind us that faith and family are the most important things in life. And we hope that you succeed in coming together this holiday season with those you love and in the process creating some generational memories. Holidays have this magical power to magnify small things to ever greater memories over time. What a return on investment. Happy holidays.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
Be sure to listen to the Annex Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Annex provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
The Badgers, the Tigers, New Year's Day on your home for Wisconsin football.
Badgers game day starts at 7 a.m. on Milwaukee's home for your Wisconsin Badgers. 97.3 The Game.
Saw it too. I've been trying to avoid talking about the Packers. That loss doesn't totally shut the door on the possibility of making the playoffs, but it's only open a tiny little crack. Yes, I think Joe Barry needs to go now, but can we please not give him the Dan Devine treatment this time of year? Packers fans, I personally don't think he should have been brought back at all. I think he's the worst defensive coordinator in the NFL. I think the Packers have had a long string of bad defensive coordinators, and Barry is clearly the worst. It's gotten to the point Jair Alexander, I think, has just walked away from the team. I think he is doing a what do they call that? A sick out in union terms. I think he's doing a hurt shoulder out, and we'll talk about that later on this hour. But, was that just... how do you let that happen in the late stages of what's essentially a must-win game? Packers can essentially punch their own ticket if they beat Tampa Bay. They're hanging with them. They're sort of a back-and-forth game, and then just yet again, defensive collapse. 2 straight weeks. This doesn't even look like the same team that beat Kansas City and Detroit. In any event, we'll get to that a little bit later. Plus, about 15 minutes from right now, we're going to play a brand new Christmas Carol game called Second Verses for a chance to see Dr. Jordan Peterson at the Riverside Theater on March 10th. Right now, though, we welcome to the program, great friend of the show, and say Merry Christmas to Senator Ron Johnson. Sir, good morning to you.
Merry Christmas, Dan, and to your listeners as well.
So you have now released a statement on a letter sent by Senate Republicans, including yourselves, to the conference chair, John Barrasso, requesting a meeting the week of January 8th to discuss negotiations with President Biden regarding border security. You said the crisis at the southwest border is unlike anything we've experienced in American history. The massive flood of illegal migration is an order of magnitude larger than the humanitarian crisis President Obama sparked when he abused prosecutorial discretion and granted deferred action on childhood arrivals, DACA, to hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants in 2012. In 2019, Obama's Secretary of Homeland Security Jay Johnson stated that 1,000 apprehensions per day overwhelmed the system. We recently experienced over 12,000 encounters in a single day, and it has become common for encounters to exceed 10,000 per day. Do you think Americans, Senator, have a firm grasp of just how dire the situation at the border is?
Well, those who listen to talk radio do, but for the majority that listen to mainstream media, big tech social media giants, no, because they've been largely covering up the catastrophe at our border. I mean, just think of it, Dan. About 6 million people, at least 6 million people, have been allowed to enter and are staying in America now under Biden. 1.7 million are what they call known gotaways, but we don't know who these people are. We have no idea where they are. So it's a massive, massive problem. You were interrupting, or?
Oh, no, I was just going to add some context there. You know me too well, Senator. You're like just waiting for me to jump in. Those 6 million illegals who we know have gotten into the country and stayed, 6 million, if they all lived together in one state, they would form the 20th largest state by population in the country, just ahead of, wait for it, Wisconsin. The number of illegals just during the Biden presidency who have been allowed to stay in this country are more populous than 30 American states. I mean, I just, the context, when it's put into that context, it's just staggering, the numbers involved here.
Well, then when like 1.7 of them are, I call them detectable gotaways, we detected them. We have no idea who these are. You have FBI Director Wray saying that we're under the greatest threat of terrorism, and particularly from foreign terrorist organizations. Well, gee, how do you think they could get in this country? This is obviously a clear and present danger, but the main point that I've been trying to make in our own Senate conference discussions and with the negotiators is Republicans are negotiating with the president who wants an open border. This didn't just happen to him. This isn't a problem that was dropped in his lap. He came into office with a largely secure border because of what President Trump had done under existing law. And so it's, my problem with the negotiations, first of all, they are rushed. What my letter that I got 14 of my colleagues to sign basically is we shut down this end of year jamming at Christmas. We've done that on the appropriation side with Speaker Johnson doing the CRs into next year, and we just did it with this. And trust me, Senate leadership on both sides wanted to come up with a solution, vote on it, and leave town. We prevented that from happening because we need a far more deliberative process here. We have to actually secure the border, not just put a Band-Aid on it, or as the Wall Street Journal op-ed page called for, is it'd be a win-win if we got Ukraine funding and modest immigration reform. No, we have to first and foremost secure the border. And when you're dealing with an administration that wants an open border, how are you going to enforce any law that you pass? This is obviously a lawless administration, a president that lies bold-faced to the American public. So how do you enforce it? And that's the real trick here, which is why we can't rush into this, which is why I called for that Republican conference the week of the 8th when the House returns and the Senate returns, so that whatever the negotiators come up with, we can fully vet, we can fully understand, and we can literally ask, okay, how does this actually get enforced? How can we ensure that we will actually
secure the border. That's the crux of this issue.
Do you think a return to the Remain in Mexico policy, also known as the Migrant Protection Protocols, is the thing that would actually get this to work? Because that was the thing to me, more so than a border wall, more so than anything else the Trump administration either proposed or implemented, the thing that actually did cut down on those insane numbers of border crossings. Because what essentially happened is most people are coming into this country presenting themselves to Border Patrol agents. They know what words to say to claim asylum. And then they're given a court date, or sometimes they're not even given a court date because there are just so many of them. And then they're just sort of turned loose in the interior of the country. And for a long time, the Biden administration was sort of shepherding them around to wherever it is that they said they had family or they wanted to go. And then, of course, it became a massive issue when Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott started doing it. But nonetheless, what Remain in Mexico did was force people to stay on the Mexican side of the border while they would go before an immigration judge and plead their case for asylum without ever getting to the interior of the United States. Now, you and I both know that 99.9 of these asylum claims are totally without merit, so these people wouldn't be allowed into the country. It was something that worked and, of course, was dismantled. Do you think that Senate Republicans and House Republicans should be pushing for the return of Remain in Mexico?
It would be one of the elements. And by the way, I was working with one of the main negotiators now, Kyrsten Sinema, and we came up with what we called Operation Safe Return, working with DHS. They took that in-house, and that morphed into Remain in Mexico. So, yeah, I'm obviously for that. Safe third country is going to be an important component. Changing the credible fear standard to more likely than not you have a valid asylum claim, and that more likely than not you're telling us the truth would be a huge improvement as well. Because right now, all they have to say is, I'm afraid to go home. They don't even have to say that anymore, though. I mean, again, Biden has completely opened the border. And the problem you have is it is an order of magnitude larger. When Trump secured the border, at most, there's about 4,000 people a day, and that was just for a month or two. And within 12 months, he went from 4,000 a day, 144,000 encounters, to 17,000 over a 12-month period, from peak to trough. So it's entirely possible using existing law. What you need is an administration that wants to do it. And again, that's the crux of the situation right now, is we're dealing with a president with most of his Democrat allies in Congress that actually want an open border, that voted against completing the fence we'd bought and paid for. So it's a real challenge. So I'm speaking to the negotiators. I mean, the good news is you do have Kyrsten Sinema, working with James Langford, who was on my committee. He is very well versed, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on the process that this is all about securing the border. This isn't broader immigration reform, and we're not going to get rushed. And that's really what the letter with 14 of my colleagues did, is it pretty well shut down the rushing process. A bunch of us did not even go back into the Senate, even though Chuck Schumer brought us back into session to vote on this. We're not going to vote on this week. So we've pretty well shut that end-of-year process down that has been used by Washington leadership on both sides for decades, which is why we have mortgaged our children's future and weakened this country. So we're trying to bring this into the light of day. As I've written in my letter, rushed and secret negotiations will not secure the border. This needs to be talked about. This is complex. It's a massive problem. It's a much more massive problem than what Trump had to deal with, and certainly what Obama had to deal with. And he's the one who sparked it with his deferred action on childhood arrivals. So that is in 2012. That is what has sparked all of this massive surge, first during the Trump administration, which he solved, and now during the Biden administration. But again, Biden wants an open border, and that's a challenge for Republican negotiators dealing with the president you just can't trust.
That is an unfortunate reality, and it is completely correct. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson joining me here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Sir, thank you as always, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you and your listeners. Take care.
Coming up on the Dan O'Donnell Show, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to go see Jordan Peterson. But we're not going to do it by just calling up and winning. No. It's a week before Christmas, and we're going to play a very special Christmas-themed game. We call it Second Verses, and we need a contestant. We'll take caller number 17 right now. Caller number 17 at 414-799-1130 or 1-800-838-9476.
I'm medical doctor Michelle Boness. Introducing Moxie, the only laser able to improve skin texture, lines, and pigmentation for all skin types and tones of skin of any age, including younger patients. While Moxie's main indication is melasma or blotchy skin pigmentation, at Boness Medispa, the Corners, Brookfield, we use cutting-edge Moxie laser to rejuvenate skin. Moxie is precise, very tolerable, can treat aging before it appears and after with minimal downtime. Your body, your life, your skin, love it. drboness.com.
I'm Dr. Jennifer Grieve at Reset Restore MD. Working in the ER, I've seen the anguish, pain, and despair that people suffering from chronic pain, depression, anxiety, addiction, and PTSD experience many times. I did everything in my power to provide relief, knowing many times the relief would be temporary. Now I'm doing more. I've founded Reset Restore MD to treat root causes for many people who cannot escape depression, anxiety, PTSD, and chronic pain. R&R for Relief, Reset Restore MD, rnrmd.com.
Treat yourself at the River Club of Mequon. The North Shore's premier private club has state-of-the-art facilities in a casual, elegant setting. The management of the River Club is committed to personal service and will give your wedding, corporate outing, or holiday party a spectacular flair like none other. The view from the sunset deck is a one-of-a-kind space, providing an unforgettable experience. Visit riverclubofmequon.com today because you deserve it. Treat yourself. Visit riverclubofmequon.com.
Do you know you need a new roof? Of course you do. For award-winning service and a free consultation, visit Klaus Roofing Systems by BuckBuckley.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
Gold just hit a new all-time high, and it could go much higher as people realize just how delicate our economy is. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I've spoken to many Americans who are deeply concerned about losing everything and not being able to do anything about it. This is why I'm thankful for physical gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. Because unlike digital and paper assets, gold is a true safe haven that all Americans should consider for their financial security. To find out more, text the word SECURE to 989898. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. This is your chance to secure your IRA or 401k against the unpredictable nature of our economy. Text SECURE to the number 989898 now to request your free info kit on gold IRAs.
Merry Christmas from George and Holly, your friends at the Sawmill Restaurant and Pub in Richfield. They're anxious to serve you right now. Just take the Holy Hill exit from Highway 41, turn west, and then take a right at Wolf Road, just over the railroad tracks. The Sawmill is just around the bend on your left.
Christmas bumper music rotation here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Absolutely love this song, and I love Christmas carols. I really do. You can tell I play music that has my own little personal spin, a lot of hip-hop, a lot of EDM versions with some classical music of Christmas carols, but I absolutely love Christmas carols. And I know a lot of people do, but how well do you really know Christmas carols? Like, say, beyond the first verse of them. Well, we came up with a game that tests your knowledge of Christmas songs by not asking you the first verse, but the second. This is Second Verses. And we have got a great listener contestant coming to us from North Prairie, Tina. How you doing, Tina? Merry Christmas to you, and welcome to our brand new game, Second Verses.
Thank you. And my name is Gina.
Gina, I'm sorry. Producer Dave is apparently hard of hearing. It's okay.
All right.
Did you just pot down the music, Dave? Oh, okay. I couldn't quite hear it. There we go. We got the sound bite. We got the proper name for our contestant. You're doing great. You're doing great in there. All right, Gina, here's what I am going to do. I am going to read you the second or sometimes third verse of a popular Christmas carol, and you have to tell me what carol it is. Do you think you can do that? On the line is a chance for you to go see Jordan Peterson at the Riverside Theater on March 10th. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. First question for you. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night.
Oh, I have no idea. Oh, no.
Take a guess.
Am I supposed to guess the line or
guess the name of the song?
Oh, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Not bad, not bad. It is The First Noel.
And to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night.
Just love this version.
Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
Nat King Cole there, The First Noel, just an absolutely hauntingly beautiful version. All right, you kind of get where we're going with this, Gina.
Yes.
Try another question. How about this one?
Okay.
While shepherds kept their watching, or silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. I'll give you a hint.
Silent Night.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not a bad guess. It's actually Go Tell It on the Mountain.
While shepherds kept their watching, or silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light.
Now, this isn't just Bing Crosby. This is also Frank Sinatra doing a version of this. As the kids say, it slaps.
Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on a mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on a mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
I love that version too. I always had to see, I went to Catholic school, Gina, so we had to sing that song every single year for our Christmas concerts. So those lyrics are seared into my very soul.
You bet. Well, ours is more like Jingle Bells and Frosty the Snowman.
Jingle Bell. You know, see, I wanted to make this a little more challenging, so I did some of the religious ones because you hear the secular ones on the radio so often that you could probably do Frosty the Snowman from memory, and it's not really verses. It's just kind of one song. And what you do find when I was researching and putting this game together is that, Gina, so many of the songs, they don't have a ton of lyrics. Like the Christmas song by Nat King Cole, there's almost no, it's like 10 lines to the entire song that they just repeat. All right. Let's get your final one. How about this? Okay?
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to make this, because I'm a charitable fellow, I'm going to make this one multiple choice. All right?
Okay. Perfect.
Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? What the gladsome tidings be, which inspire your heavenly songs? Now, is this, I saw 3 ships, it came upon a midnight clear, or angels we have heard on high?
See, angels we have heard on high.
That is correct. That was the Cambridge Children's Choir. Just a beautiful rendition of that song. All right, you went 1 for 3, Gina, but as the very first contestant for this game, that was fun. Dave, do you think we bring that back later in the week? Well, Gina, I wasn't actually asking you, but I love your opinion. Do you think, Gina, we should bring that back?
Yeah, as a listener, absolutely.
Okay, good. I thought so. I thought this was fun. I used to test myself with this. My mom got me when I was a kid. Yes, this is how big of a nerd I was. I was like 8, 9 years old. She got me a songbook, and it had every lyric to like every Christmas carol ever written. It's still in my basement somewhere. When I grew up, I had to have the Christmas Carol book. And I would just open to a random page, and I would make sure I would like use a piece of paper or something to cover the top half of the page. And I would see if I could get the song just by the verses that nobody remembers. All right, Gina, I'm taking your word for it that people like listening to this, and you did a great job today. You really did, Gina. And I am so happy to give you a pair of tickets to go see Jordan Peterson March 10th at the Riverside Theater. Stay on hold. Producer Dave is going to get all of your information so we can get you those tickets as quickly as possible. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Gina. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, you too.
You are listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show, and it's coming right back.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services and host of the Designer Yard Show. Another landscaping season is in the books, and what a great season it was. I started Seasonal Services 30 years ago, and I enjoy every day. Yes, some days are tough, but we've persevered because of many special people. The Christmas season is a great time to share our appreciation of others. So let me start by thanking our suppliers, clients, and the many builders who trust us with their valued clients. And to those of you who love gardening and nature as much as we do, thanks for listening to the Designer Yard Show every Saturday. Finally, thanks to the entire Seasonal Services team. You arrive early and you go home late. You give your all every day on the hottest days of summer and the coldest days of winter. You appreciate that hard work is rewarding, and for that I give you my admiration and thanks. So on behalf of all of us at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, best wishes for 2024.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Magical memories await you at Enchant. Wander the world's largest Christmas light maze and village. Enchant, lighting up Franklin Field, November 24th through December 31st. Tickets on sale now at enchantchristmas.com.
I just got this text message the other day. Luis just completed a job for Jim. I won't say his last name. The customer called me back to say Luis did an amazing job. He worked very fast and was very concerned about the job he did. He said he ran a company, and that's the kind of employee that's really hard to find. Exemplary customer service. First of all, hats off to Luis. Secondly, I want you to know, here at Lisbon Storm Screen and Door, we take window and door installations here seriously. We try to hire people just like Louise that care about the job they do and care about how you feel about it. And like Jim said, they're not always easy to find, but when you get one on your job, they sure do stick out, don't they? This is David Wilhelm for Craftsman Caliber Window and Door Installation and just about anything you need for windows and doors. Your clear choice for more is Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Find out more at lisbonstorm.com.
You have to have insurance. The law requires it, but it's also common sense protection against unexpected events. There's insurance, and then there's a peace of mind relationship when you need it most. The kind you get with State Farm agent Joe Wolfley. Joe and his State Farm team set you up for success in any circumstance. Learn more at insuremke.com. That's insuremke.com. Joe Wolfley State Farm Insurance. Now with 3 locations to serve you better. Mequon, Delafield, and Pewaukee.
Hello, commercial customers. This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center, and it's end of the year tax planning season. We've continued to work hard sourcing over 400 of the best GM, Hino, and Isuzu commercial trucks from all over the country. Most are ready to go, and some are ready for your custom upfit. The best part? All of our trucks qualify for the Section 179 tax deduction for 2023. Now, I know you're busy running your business, but we've made it easy. Go to lynchtruckcenter.com, select your truck, and click on the green button on each truck page to instantly see potential tax savings. For example, if you buy a $50,000 truck at a 22% tax rate, you'll get $11,000 in potential tax savings. You can deduct 100% of the purchase price from your 2023 taxes. Essentially, the truck will only cost you $39,000. Remember, we are in the truck business, not accountants. So, be sure to verify these tax savings with your tax professional. Visit lynchtruckcenter.com today. We won't disappoint you.
Hey, Dan here for Pick Six, a brand new fantasy app from DraftKings, a leader in daily fantasy sports. New customers get up to $50 back in Pick Six credits. Here's what you do. You pick a player, you choose if he's going to have more or less of a stat. You track your lineup, you compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app now and get started with code GREATESTPICK. New customers can get up to $50 back in Pick Six credit if your first pick set loses. Only on DraftKings Pick 6 with code GREATESTPICK. The crown is yours. One offer per first-time DraftKings product customer. First qualifying pick set winnings less entry fees must generate negative number. Max reward up to $50 equal to amount of negative number. Issued in non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits valid for Pick 6 use only, expire after 1 year. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus. Valid only where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.DraftKings.com.
Jesus tells us that he will remain with us for all time. This is Archbishop Listecki. It's Advent, and as Catholics, we're spreading the word about the real presence of Jesus Christ. The wonderful way Jesus stays with us is that he gives himself to us in the Eucharist. He is truly present. During Mass, the bread and wine become the body and blood of Christ, and we receive Jesus in communion. So join us at Mass and experience the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist.
Come to Fiserv Forum to see the resurgent Wisconsin Badgers on December 28th and 29th in the Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. See how Coach Hastings has rebuilt the Badgers into a national power. Get your tickets now to see the Badgers battle the Air Force Falcons in prime time on day one. The excitement continues with perennial power and 3-time national champion Minnesota Duluth playing the Northeastern Huskies in the other semifinal. Don't miss the college hockey action coming to Milwaukee and see who wins the championship on day 2. So get your seats today at Ticketmaster.com.
Universal Windows Direct.
We did have a couple of requests, actually, to replay the Dan O'Donnell Show's official Christmas carol. Our collaboration with the singer Michael Bruno, I'm Dreaming of a Non-White Christmas. Did you see the mayor of Boston? She actually posted a picture of her non-white Christmas party, and I did not see a single one of those terrible whites anywhere in the picture, not even her own husband, who is one of the whites. I don't know. What do you think? Do we want to replay it? Do it at the end of the show? All right. We do have sort of a serious topic. Big news coming out of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis proving once again that you can no longer answer the question, is the Pope Catholic, definitively, has approved blessings for same-sex couples so long as said blessing doesn't resemble a wedding. This is this man trying to do his level best to get away from 2,000 years of Catholic teaching without getting away from 2,000 years of Catholic teaching. The doctrine, I'm not sure if this is a papal bull. To a lot of Catholics, it's going to sound like papal bull, but whatevs. Elaborates on a letter Francis sent to 2 conservative cardinals that was published in October. Back then, Francis suggested such blessings could be offered under some circumstances if they didn't confuse the ritual with the sacrament of marriage. In other words, priests still can't marry same-sex couples. Same-sex marriage, the act of homosexual sex, is considered a sin in the Catholic Church and also most other Christian denominations, as well as the Muslims, but they don't ever get any flack for that at all. The document, released today, repeats that condition and elaborates on it, reaffirming that marriage is a lifelong sacrament between a man and a woman, and it stresses that blessings in question must be non-liturgical in nature and should not be conferred at the same time as a civil union, using set rituals or even with the clothing and gestures that belong in a wedding. But it says, this from the Associated Press, requests for such blessings for same-sex couples should not be denied, full stop. It offers an extensive and broad definition of the term blessing in Scripture to insist that people seeking a transcendent relationship with God and looking for his love and mercy should not be subject to an exhaustive moral analysis as a precondition for receiving it. Isn't there also a sacrament now? I've been, away from Catholic school for quite some time, longer than I would care to admit, because I'm feeling every one of my 42 years this year. Is it like a thing when you get old that your joints hurt when it's cold in the morning? Is that a thing? Producer Dave, who's a couple years older than me, goes, "Are you being serious right now?" I don't like it, Dave. I don't like it. I watched a movie. It was a pretty shameless Christmas ripoff of Big and Freaky Friday and The Change Up and like 20 other movies with the exact same premise where people switch bodies. Freaky Friday was another one of these. It's called The Christmas Switch or The Family Switch. I was wrapping Christmas presents yesterday. My wife and I were watching this. Ed Helms, Jennifer Garner, and I think those were the only 2 big names. And this father, played by Ed Helms of The Office fame, he switches bodies with his teenage son. And there's a scene where they're running down the street. And he has to tell, he goes, "Cramp! Cramp!" And meanwhile, the father who's in the son's body is doing cartwheels because he feels so good. I don't think I have ever related to a movie more. You have no idea how much I would kill to feel as good as my 16-year-old son does and not just be constantly in pain all the time, which apparently is what my life is going to be from now on. In any event, it's been a while since I've been in Catholic Church. I'm fairly certain to receive blessings, you first have to go through the sacrament of reconciliation or confession. You have to talk to the priest and confess your sins. Now, I'm no theologian here, but I'm fairly certain you would apologize for the sin of, doing what you do. But then you get blessed for it. You see how this is sort of an inherent contradiction. This is the inherent contradiction, incidentally, of liberalism. Liberalism is one long, unending series of contradictions that you have to either be dishonest about or just sort of ignore in order to reconcile them in your mind. You never really are able to, and this is why liberalism is so it's so tempting to use the dogmatic theme. It's so tempting to people who aren't very good logical thinkers or who just don't choose to think logically about political philosophy, and people who tend to be far more conservative, far more analytically minded, reject it because we say, hey, well, wait a second. For something like this, the thing that popped into my head immediately is, okay, having, what is it, man shall not lie down with that. Look, folks, I've been very open about the fact that I always have been, and it's likely a generational thing, supportive of gay marriage. Sue me. I don't know. I'm not marrying any dudes. Producer Dave is a handsome man, but yeah, he's pointing to his ring already. Otherwise, Angela doesn't need to know, Dave. We could be blessed by the Pope himself. Here's a question. Yes, Dave, you read my mind. No, not with that, pervert. Would the Pope bless Senator Ben Cardin's aide, Aiden Mays-Sharofsky? Would he bless him getting sharropped in the Senate building? Or is that a sin? You see. So you're blessing something, you're essentially blessing, in Catholic teaching, sin. It's an inherent contradiction. Now, of course, liberals, including it's pretty obvious the Pope he's an Argentinian socialist. Seems like a good enough dude, Il Papa, and so forth. He's a socialist. So there is this sort of inherent contradiction. Document says, ultimately, a blessing offers people a means to increase their trust in God. The request for a blessing thus expresses and nurtures openness to the transcendence, mercy, and closeness to God in 1,000 concrete circumstances of life, which is no small thing in the world in which we live. Now, of course, what do you think Jesus would do if he sees a couple of dudes? Would he say, maybe not in the Senate room per se. I'd like to think JC would blush at that, but he would absolutely say, yes, you believe in me, you believe in my Father, and you have everlasting life. That's sort of what ultimately Christianity is. Jesus himself, when he was on earth, was the ultimate. He dined with the prostitutes and the tax collectors and washed the feet of his own disciples. The whole point of God made flesh, to me anyway, was to get as many people to believe, to support. So in that sense, I'm like, you know what? For the Pope, sure. Bless a gay man, of course you do that. But what this to me seems like, and I haven't read the full document, but knowing what I do about Pope Francis, is that he desperately wants to get the church more liberal. And he sees this, I think, frankly, the Pope probably is going to he's been hinting at it for some time. I think within, what do you think? He's 86, 85, 86. No, he's not in the best health. My guess is within the next 2 to 3 years, he retires and does the thing that Pope Benedict did. He's Pope Emeritus and just lives out his life. But I think he wants to, in his remaining years, make the church far more liberal. Dan O'Donnell Show coming right back after this.
Jay Weber here. If you're someone who is experiencing shoulder, hip, or knee pain and a total joint replacement may be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
With nearly 50 years of experience, my dad, Jim Mullally, has taught my cousin Mark everything he knows. In fact, he bestowed so much expertise onto Mark that Mark went to New York to compete against the top furniture finishers in the country. And you know what? He won. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. The bulk of our business is in wood furniture restoration. We found that there are a lot of folks out there with antique furniture and heirloom pieces that are in good shape, but just need to be brought back to life again. Well, that's our specialty. And right here in Mequon, you'll find one of the country's top furniture finishers. So if you want only the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. The ENERGY STAR ratings for windows are getting a lot tougher to get the tax credit, so you're going to want to take advantage of. Fortunately, we still have options that will qualify you for those tax credits. Now, I can sit here and talk benefits of this product or what's great about that product. So can everybody else. But what a lot of operations can't do is, with complete confidence, stand behind the crew that's going to be on that next job. Talk is cheap, I get it, but our people are exceptional. How do I know? Because me and Vito handpick every single person that makes our team. Some make the cut, a lot don't. And that's why you can be confident that the windows we install for you will be top quality, installed right, and that you're going to get great service. And that's never failed us. So for your home's new windows, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 877-64-BIBLE. That's 877-64-BIBLE. 877-64-BIBLE.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. Never drive drunk. If arrested for DUI, say nothing. Remember, anything that you say can and will be used against you in court. Even if a friendly arresting officer tells you otherwise, a first-time DUI is a big deal. A first-time drunk driving conviction stays on your record for life, can impact career opportunities far down the road, and even limit your ability to rent a car or travel abroad. Call my award-winning team of former state prosecutors for help. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com. That's GrieveLaw.com.
There's a reason people sell to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no added stress.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Your next event starts at the River Club of Mequon. A contemporary 500-person grand ballroom with outdoor space overlooks the golf course. This unforgettable venue is perfect for your wedding day or company event. For a tour, visit riverclubofmequon.com.
Grand & Go's crews help hundreds of people finally forget that tree every week. Grand & Go's state-of-the-art online stump calculator allows you to enter the size of your stumps, where they're located, and instantly receive an estimate. GrandandGoStumps.com.
iHeartRadio is your #1 app for the holidays. Just open the app and search iHeart Holiday and start listening now. You'll see your local holiday radio station, plus all kinds of other holiday stations, playlists, and podcasts. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
If the Packers lose to Carolina on Christmas Eve, does somebody target Matt LaFleur's dog? Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Only old school Packer fans will remember that. One of the more sordid chapters in the history of the green and gold. It was a pathetic display yesterday. The defense is an absolute mess. I still maintain Jordan Love is a lot better than people think, but he can only do so much. Jordan Love did not give up touchdowns that were way, way, way too easy late. Did you see, by the way, the 49ers? I know they were playing a bad Cardinals team, dropping 45 points like it was nothing. I'm telling you, nobody is getting past San Francisco. Now, the NFL is such that San Francisco is probably going to lose in the divisional round because there's always some team that gets hot and runs the 5 seed and wins the Super Bowl. But nonetheless, it looks like there's a big 3 in the NFC that no matter what, the Packers were not getting past. San Francisco, Philadelphia, Dallas. I know Dallas. Yes, I know. I am well aware of what happened to Dallas yesterday. I still think every team has a down game. Every single team in football. Packers playoff odds dropped all the way down below 30% with the loss to Tampa Bay. And frankly, they don't deserve. This does not look like a playoff team. I think it was fool's gold beating Detroit, who isn't nearly as good as their gaudy record appeared. And as good as, Kansas City always seems to be, they are having a down year by their standards. I think there's a bit of a Super Bowl hangover. So the Packers lose to the Buccaneers at home, 34-20. Offense was not much of a problem. Wicks had himself a nice game, the wide receiver. Really, really good player. This Packers defense is borderline abysmal. When you get the game to within 13-10 at halftime, and then you immediately allow them to march down the field. By the way, Baker Mayfield had the first perfect passer rating of his career. Baker Mayfield, the same Baker Mayfield who couldn't make it with the Cleveland Browns. I've always thought Mayfield got a bad reputation. I think he's better than people think he is. He ain't that good. What did he throw for? 380 yards and 4 touchdowns? They just carved up. You know what? It would have been nice. You know who the Packers could have used? They used to. Do you remember the guy they used to have he was a stud cornerback, and he used to play for them a year or two ago. He was not Terrell Buckley, not Leroy Butler. He came after those guys. Jair Alexander. Unless this guy is missing the AC joint in his shoulder, I don't think he needs to be this cautious with his shoulder injury. And this has led to a lot of speculation amongst Packer fans that he's slow walking his return from injury because he doesn't like how he's being used in the primary zone coverage scheme of Joe Barry. He was considered, and still is, the best cover corner in the NFL. It was like Jair Island when he gets matched up with a stud wide receiver. He's not allowed to play man-to-man defense. A big part of me, in fact, thinks he's pouting, doesn't believe the Packers are going anywhere this year, and is saying, yeah, well, that's taken me a long time to get back. It's sort of like an old sick out in the mafia-controlled union trades building Las Vegas. But to allow the uninspiring Baker Mayfield to carve you up. And then the Packers do get it in, what was it? They got it to within a touchdown early in the fourth quarter. And then what happens? 52-yard bomb to David Moore. And that was that. That was the end of the game. I honestly, after that touchdown, I basically threw up my hands. I turned it off. That's when I started watching the Christmas Switch movie or Family Switch. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put on the Wayne Larrivee call of the game. I'm going to wrap some Christmas presents because, honestly, I'm not particularly happy. Joe Barry, he'd better not return as defensive coordinator because the Packers have talent. Clearly, they're banged up, allegedly, on defense. They have very good defensive players. The scheme is just not working. It is just not working. And in order to take that next step, and I think it's unfair to compare the Love era to the Rodgers era. Remember how much was made? First 11 games, they've got nearly identical stats. That's not fair. It's a completely different scenario. There's obviously a lot less offensive talent surrounding Jordan Love than there was, although that is a great chicken or the egg argument, right? Was Jordy Nelson a superstar and Randall Cobb superstars, or did Aaron Rodgers make them superstars? But remember, there was an immediate turnaround in year 2. The offense just caught fire, and was it year 3 they won the Super Bowl? I'm not expecting that, and nobody should. Remember, the Packers did finish 5-11 the first year of Aaron Rodgers. And it was 5-11. Either way, 5-11, 6-10, whatever. Either way, there was a big jump in year 2. I'm not going to be as angry or freaked out. We have a remarkable way of overreacting to pretty much everything. I still think the Packers are on court. It's just the defense needs to change. Dan O'Donnell Show done for today. Talk to you tomorrow.